Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Day one wrap up of Florida Audio Show, and I gotta say, I had high expectations of it being fun, but on the metrics of gear and fun new stuff and nostalgia, today was very memorable. And so I want to get to a lot of those things. But first, one of the things I talked about in the preview is the Unique Home Audio Bach demo. This is the first time Edgar hasn't been here, first time demoing without the Jansen speakers. And let me tell you, the Dutch and Dutch were performing great. And we played some tracks in the dedicated demo. I ran the demo after hours. So we're going to do that again tomorrow. Dedicated tracks. We play a variety of things, especially stuff that you're going to hear in other rooms of the show. Because I want you to hear that room, same conditions everybody else, and then go compare. Not just on spatial characteristics either. Those Dutch and Dutch, go ahead and judge them on full range treatment. You're going to be impressed, but you judge for yourself. If you're here, I want you to come do that. And if you do the dedicated demos after hours, I'm going to give away this Blue Jeans power cord. We were going to do it in the Acora room, but he has to do an analog tape tomorrow, and that's not going to be conducive to doing Name That Tune. So he suggested we'll do that in Dallas, the Name That Tune thing. And so I'm still going to give away this, but I'm going to do it in the Bach Unique Home Audio room tomorrow night. So come see us there. Now, on other gear and fronts, what was really cool is seeing nostalgia gear. And it ended up tonight with nostalgia being ending the night. I couldn't end the night any better than in the Cora room. They played Manum, which is, it just almost brought a tear to my eye because that's a song that I grew up with my grandmother singing to me as I was a little kid, baby and, toddler, and I still remember that song. And I think he thought he was going to fool me by playing this cool track I'd never heard before. I instantly recognized it because my grandmother sang it to me. So that nostalgia part was special to end the night. And so I have that video there if you want to hear it. It's actually a cool track with spatial cues and depth. You think it's a gimmicky Muppet-like track, but no, it's actually quite good. But also there was a ton of other cool nostalgia. The MBL room sounded better than ever. I mean, I've heard it a million times, but those 101s in that room, and that I got to pick out the analog tape that he played. So I picked the one that had Madonna, Prince, Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen. I mean, it's a phenomenal tape. And I put a few of those. It's worth watching and listening because some of those recordings, especially the one by Tom Petty and the Holiday by Madonna, are definitely unique and rare. So that sounded phenomenal. MBL, thumbs up. Spatial cues galore. Really, the only other room that can give you that level of spatial cues is the Bach. And if you'll notice, almost nobody walked around or left past in front of the camera the entire time that tape was playing. So that's another anecdotal that things are going good. But anyway, earlier in the day, wow, there was a couple other nostalgia pieces I saw. Cosicant DAC from Wavelength Audio. I bet you a lot of press, YouTubers are going in there. They totally don't recognize that little DAC, that it was instrumental in the industry. It was by Gordon Rankin, who was instrumental in bringing async USB to the industry, and proving why that is superior to the former synchronous USB. And so I remember back in the days him being on the Audio Asylum forum, and we talk about that in the video. So if you want to hear a little nostalgia, and that piece is still current. Very few DACs from 12 plus years ago, probably even more, are still exact same form factor, still being made today. There have been thousands that have come and gone in that time period. So it was great to see that piece still working, still in modern production, although that was the last one the gentleman was telling me. And his amps that have some pedigree of working with Gordon Rankin, who again, if you don't know him, great legacy in the industry and pedigree. That was a lot of fun seeing that. Also, you've seen in one of my videos in the cat room, and I think it was Magico, was an Audio Arrow Capital CD player. Many people don't know what that is. Very legendary CD player from back in the day that used to be in every room at every show when CD was the main method of playback. So that was cool seeing. And again, at a small show like this, seeing that nostalgia, super cool today. but also seeing some gear that I didn't really know about. And there was two things that other than the MBL and Acora from a musical perspective and performance perspective, that really impressed me today was, number one, was this Gauder Acoustics speaker. Had an inverted diamond dome mid-range and a diamond tweeter, and then a ceramic mid-range, and then a different, I forget the material of their woofers. And man, you wouldn't think a four-way or four-way speaker like that could integrate with those different types of drivers. Usually it's a mess when people try it do-it-yourself using the best, in theory, materials, but trying to get them to integrate, it doesn't ever work as well. Well, they use a lot of supercomputer technology, run simulations, get that crossover just right. And I gotta say, I was impressed. Now, it's $250,000. It's going to be in that cost no object category, but it's one of those speakers that I'd love to hear in one of those big rooms, and I think it would compete with all the big boys. Very impressed. I'm going to keep my eye on Gauder Acoustics. But if I had to put my finger on one demo today, one room I went into, other than Bach for like blowing people away, that blew me away in terms of surprising me, was Coastal outdoor speakers. If you watch that video, you will notice how I ask them questions and they tell me stuff that I didn't even think they were thinking of, or I wouldn't even have considered for being outdoor speakers in terms of a line source, but they pitch the top because outdoors, you don't worry about ceiling reflections. Normally, a line source speaker doesn't have floor and ceiling reflections as much. Well, and that's an advantage because you have ceilings and floors, and that's one of the advantages of a line source. But outdoors, you're often standing up. And so you want some vertical dispersion. So they pitch it, and they also take into account an outdoor speaker is going to have high temperatures. The voice coils on these drivers can get hot. They use the entire structure cabinet of the speaker as kind of a heat sink to consider that. The connections that are used outside, watertight, submersible, the amps are all enclosed. Everything they think about with regard to outdoor speakers was blowing me away. But the fact that they were playing them indoors and sounded just as bit as good as most other rooms at the show was a testament to what quality they're doing with that speaker. I'm going to be almost assuredly putting those at my Airbnb in Fredericksburg for my outdoor speakers, because on top of all that technology and quality, they don't have the mega dollar prices. They're reasonable in their pricing. So it's well worth the quality that I heard and saw in what they consider and reliability. These are going to last much longer and perform much better at a reasonable cost. So Coastal outdoor speakers probably, ironically, is my speaker and room of the day today. So there's a lot of rooms I didn't get to. Obviously, it's a big show, but stay tuned. Lots more to come. 2 more days plus after hours, and come to the Bach demo after 5 tomorrow. I'll be running the demo, and we're going to give away this cord. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. See you soon.